But anyway, it is highly likely that I went about it the wrong ways. Even though I tried to be as careful, a tiptoe, and as gentle to say the things that I needed to say to him and to get him to consider a different point of view and perspective on some things, to open up, or to get him to be open to a healing of a wound that I could clearly see in him that he definitely wanted to keep hidden and didn't want to acknowledge, but it was hindering or holding him back. Even if he didn't know it, it was like a mortal wound that continued to bleed, and until it was bound and dealt with, it would always be a wound there. And sometimes when we have emotional, spiritual wounds, they hold us back or hinder us from being able to be our best versions of ourselves until we face that, address and dress that wound so that it can properly heal. And sometimes when it's something that's very personal, we want to heal all alone and by ourselves and away from everyone. I do my best healing that way, but I'm not truly alone. I've got a lot of spiritual beings constantly around me, and they aid tremendously in my growth, as well as I go into nature and animals and other forms of spirit that help me to grow and to balance out my energy. But that's a whole nother other. But this particular other individual may have once, or I won't even say may have, I know that they did, at some point in their life, do all those things, but they no longer were. They had, for a lack of a better term, forgotten who they were in the being of who everybody this world expected and wanted them to be, and had gotten so far away from their true self, their core essence, that I was just trying to remind the person of who they were. The original being, before everybody else started putting their fingers in the situation and trying to tell the person who to be and how to be. But it didn't turn out well, because what I could see clearly, he either couldn't or he just wasn't ready. And that is his prerogative and option. And I was overstepping, because when he resisted, I should not have pushed any further. But with all my heart, I just wanted to see him whole and healed. And I'm stubborn. But sometimes, with all the best meaning and well wishes you may have, you can still do the wrong thing. It may be the right thing, but at the wrong time. And so again, everything comes back to perspective. I wasn't trying to be intrusive or pushy or pry. This is someone my heart has carried a tremendous amount of love and respect and admiration for, and probably always will. However, it wasn't my place. And so, rounding everything up, everything isn't always what it seems. And even when it is exactly what it seems to us, it may seem completely different to someone else. And again, that doesn't mean you're right and they're wrong, or they're right and you're wrong. You can both be right and you can both be wrong. It's all about perspective and intentions. And before we're so quick to get offended and think the worst of someone else, I know this world is full of chaos and there's a lot of evil in it. especially in recent years. I have seen things, I've seen the worst of humanity stoop the lowest than I've ever seen. And still, we have to give people the benefit of the doubt. Inquire, ask questions. Don't be so quick to offend. Right now, we're living in a world where everybody gets offended if you breathe, if you sneeze, if you scratch yourself. God forbid if you cough in public. It's just hypersensitivity. When there's no communication, there's no understanding, there's no authenticity. Because everybody has to fake and pretend and walk around on eggshells and pins and needles just to get along with the others around them, which is ridiculous. It's absurd. But that's enough of me lecturing. I just wanted to share a very interesting perspective, or two very interesting perspectives, that was presented to me and made me go, okay. And it made me look at the situation that I was originally praying and seeking God about from a gentler standpoint, because I was kind of pissed. And now I'm not angry. I still will stand my grounds on certain things with this individual, because even when you have differences of opinions or perspectives, being disrespectful or using abusive speech is never acceptable, period. And I draw the line on that type of stuff. However, I have a better understanding where he may have a completely different understanding of what happened that caused the misunderstanding. Anyhow, I've got a ton of chores to do. I just stopped to... It was just such an interesting little story. It made me smile about something that really deeply hurt me, because it was a family member and someone I love very much. And completely just... what should have been a very simple conversation turned into something very negative and just heated for why? Where did this come from kind of a situation. So anyhow, I've got a ton of work to do. My back's been acting up a lot, so I've been pacing myself a little bit and do so much and stop so that I don't aggravate it. And since I was taking a few minutes to just recalibrate physically, I thought I would just take some time and pray and talk to the Ruach HaKodesh about inquiring insight on why the situation took such a bad turn. Where did that come from? So anyway, I gotta go. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I've got things to do, but I hope your day is blessed. And I'm just sharing an insight that was given to me that made me smile and made me look at things a little bit differently. So you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.